So, ladies and gentlemen, what we have here are two parallel lines, and we know they're parallel because they are lines that never intersect. So what I expect for you guys to have right now on your papers is this exact screen in your notebooks. You should have your two parallel lines, and you should have this line that cuts them. Now, the line that cuts two parallel lines, we call that a transversal. That's what you notice over here. So transversal is a line that cuts through two other lines. Those were my two parallel lines. My transversal came and it cut right through. Now when that happens, if you notice, there's now an interior and an exterior to the parallel lines. The interior is the inside. So between the two parallel lines, we call that the interior. And then the exterior is anything on the outside of the two parallel lines. That's why we have exterior up there and exterior down here. Now what I want you to do is I want you to imagine streets on New York City, in Manhattan. In case of you have not been to Manhattan, they have several streets and then have several avenues. So what I want you to imagine, I want you to imagine that this line right here is one street, and this line right here is another street. And those two streets are cut by a street that goes down vertically. Now let's imagine we are at point A and we're driving down. So here I am driving, and I stop at B. Now at B, if you notice, I have four corners. And those four corners are made out of four angles. I've got angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, and angle 4. Now what we studied recently, I've got vertical angles. So angle 1 and angle 3 are vertical angles. Angle 2 and angle 4 are vertical angles. If you notice down here, vertical angles, angles that are across from each other and share a vertex. This is the vertex that's being shared, vertex B. They are congruent. Remember, congruent means equal. So angles 1 and angle 3, those are a pair. Angle 2 and angle 4, those are a pair. Angle 5, and we'll wait on that for a sec because we're still at this corner. Now if you notice, their angle measure is the same. Angle 1 is 120, angle 3 is also 120. Angle 2 is 60, angle 4 is 60. So I've got my vertical angles. Now let's drive down to the other intersection. Here we go. We're at vertex E. Again, I've got four corners. Okay, same thing, vertical angles, 5 and 7, 6 and 8, 5 and 7, 6 and 8, 60 degrees, 120, 120. So those are my vertical angles on this corner. Now next thing we're going to target is something called corresponding angles. And those are angles that are in the same position. So they are also congruent. So let's drive back up to my B corner. Here we are. We're back at point B. Now remember, we had this original four corners on this street right over here. Now, if I want to look at angle 1, and I want to try to see which angle at my corner E is the same thing as angle 1. So basically they're in the same position on the street. So here I'm on the top left of corner B. So on the top left of corner E is angle 5. So I call angle 1 and angle 5 corresponding angles. They correspond to each other. They're in the same position. Now let's go down to angle 4. That's on my bottom left of my corner B. So if I go down to my corner E, where's my bottom left? Angle 8. So angle 4 and angle 8, those are also corresponding angles because they're in the same position. Now let's jump over to the other side. So let's go to this side. Here we go. Now we're on the top right. So the top right of angle B is angle 2. If I go down to my point E, top right is 6. So angle 2 and angle 6 are in the same position. So I call those corresponding angles. Now let's jump back up to B. And then let's look at bottom right. Bottom right is angle 3. So the same position, if I look at point E, bottom right is angle 7. So angle 3 and angle 7 are therefore corresponding angles. And that's what we've got right here. Now remember, corresponding angles, they are congruent to each other. So If you remember angle 1, what was corresponding with it? Angle 5. They're the same angle measure, 120, 120. Now let's look at angle 4. Corresponding angle with angle 4 was angle 8. Both same angle measures, 60, 60. Now let's go back up here, jump over to the right side. Angle 2, what was corresponding with angle 2? Angle 6. Same measure, 60 degrees, 60 degrees. Last one, bottom right was angle 3. Corresponding with angle 3 was angle 7. So, any same angle measures, 120, 120. So what we got here today are vertical angles and corresponding angles that are formed by two parallel lines that were cut by transversal. Make sure you have this in your notebooks.